What is going on, everybody? Xaenca here, back once again with another dose of toxic masculinity for you. Or so they say. Friendly reminder, as always, links to the previous videos are in the description down below if you did happen to miss them, and if you do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Fear not, ladies and gentlemen, your favorite incel man-baby troll is here to whine and cry about Captain Marvel once again. Did I hit all of the SJW talking points yet? I think I missed one. This one's my personal favorite. White men are only strong on the internet but weak in real life. I respond with, good thing I'm Asian then. He or she, it, whatever the hell it wants to be, responds with, you Orientals act just like whites. Oh, random commenter, you would make Brie Larson proud. Because it takes a special kind of caricature of a 1930s racist to go out of your way to use Orientals in a situation like this. Am I surprised? Of course not. We all know that Brie Larson's a racist and a bigot, so you would expect racism and bigotry from her supporters. Birds of a feather flock together and all, but I'm not personally offended by Oriental, but I do understand that somehow it became a derogatory term here in the West, so kudos to you, random commenter, for that special touch of racism. And another common theme I get is, oh, another Captain Marvel video? You're just obsessed with Brie Larson. What can I say? Maybe I just have a weakness for flat asses or something. Which is the perfect segue for our first topic of discussion. China thinks Captain Marvel isn't attractive enough by Karen Chu of Abacus News. Online comments for Marvel's first film focused on a female superhero revolve around star Brie Larson's looks. Uh-oh. This is gonna make that random commenter from earlier lose their goddamn minds, cursing the sky at those darn Orientals. If you're watching this, you're probably having a racist meltdown as we speak. As the first film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to focus on a female superhero, Captain Marvel is meant to be a celebration of female empowerment. But in China, plenty of discussion online isn't focusing on the character's actions or the film's plot. It's focused on the looks of star Brie Larson. I'm not judging a person by their looks, writes a commenter that is about to judge a person on their looks. But the main character in a superhero movie shouldn't be a dama, a derogatory term for middle-aged housewives. Gotta say, I love that quip, says a person about to judge a person on their looks. Touché, Karen Chu, touché. Now, to play devil's advocate a little bit, she's not that old looking, but I can see why they would make that assumption. Considering in Asia, people look just younger overall, so to them, she probably looks much older than people in the West do. Another person reposted a photoshopped meme comparing the butts of Captain Marvel and Spider-Man, using the edited picture to suggest that Larson's hips aren't round enough. Now, I'm not for the usage of photoshopped and edited within this sentence. It's a little bit misleading. It's kind of implying that Brie Larson was like photoshopped to have a flat ass, and in the original photo she did not have one, but I'm pretty sure this is the original photo. And I think what she means by edited or photoshopped is that just they put Tom Holland next to Brie Larson side by side, is what I'm gathering, because there are other photos from this period of time that also show her flat booty, so I don't think people went into Photoshop and just made it flatter, because I think these photos came out as a positive originally, like, oh my god, look, it's Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. See, this was a little bit before the shit completely hit the fan with Brie Larson coming out as a full-on twat. But anyway, let's continue. While Captain Marvel is far from being the most successful Marvel film in Chinese box office history, it's hardly a flop either. It's grossed over $127 million since its March 8 debut, according to Chinese ticketing giant Maoyan. It also boasts a 7-star rating on Douban, Chinese equivalent to Rotten Tomatoes, which is comparable with Avengers Age of Ultron and Venom. And there are plenty of people defending the film's choice of Brie Larson. Probably the same people who come to the comments section of me and my YouTube colleagues, telling each and every one of us to off ourselves on a daily basis. Also 7 out of 10, so it's basically on par with how the West received it, which is kind of low because usually China likes everything, so it's a little bit alarming again. If I were Disney or Marvel. Why must the superheroes look sublimely beautiful? This face looks tough. It's exactly what Captain Marvel calls for, wrote one Weibo user. This face does not look tough. This face looks constipated, if anything. This is the face of Daddy just took my credit card privileges away for a week. Or if we're doing Brie Larson specifically, this is the face of Mommy tried to buy me a music career, but even autotune couldn't make me sound good. Another said, I wish we can all avoid double standards. Is Tony Stark young? Is he well built? Do you all like him because of his muscles? Really? Because I would argue that Robert Downey Jr. is a good looking dude. And he may not be young per se now, but he was still kind of young when he took on the role of Iron Man to begin with. And if his looks ain't your forte or anything like that, he is oozing with charisma. He could be the ugliest dude on the planet, but with that much charisma, he'd still look good. Brie Larson, on the other hand, is one of the most unlikable, if not the most unlikable actress I've ever seen. And I don't find her attractive. I mean, she's not ugly per se, but her ugly attitude definitely pushes her towards that. She's ugly on the inside. Plus, her crazy eyes freak me out. She does it in every interview, and I'm like, why are your eyes always about to pop out of your goddamn head like you want to kill the person you're talking to? Still, it seems like Captain Marvel's momentum isn't as strong in China as it is in the US. While the blockbuster dominated the American box office for 2 weekends in a row, in China it lost the top spot to Taiwanese romance More Than Blue, a tearjerker about 2 star-crossed lovers. Some say it's because Captain Marvel feels less like a standalone film and more like a palate cleanser for Avengers Endgame in April. Captain Marvel was okay, not saying it's bad, but don't expect any surprises, said one of the top comments on Douban. Watch it for the hype, it's just a lead up to the final episode anyway. Others say Larson's character feels one-dimensional. You don't say. She's such an important character, but her personality didn't shine through, said another top comment. Because she has no personality, how is it supposed to shine through? It's impossible. You're talking about an actress with zero charisma, playing a character who in the comics also has no charisma. And obviously I'm talking about post-intersectional feminist agenda version of Carol Danvers, not the one before all of that. Miss Marvel was okay. And I don't think anybody wanted to see Brie Larson's personality shine through. Her personality may come as lasers beaming from her eyes and just obliterating any white man in sight. I mean, if you haven't already seen it, you should check out Anna, that Star Wars girl's video where she breaks down Brie Larson's Jimmy Kimmel appearance, and even there, you could tell from her body language and just the way she was behaving that she didn't want to have anything to do with Jimmy. And Jimmy's one of those far left figures in Hollywood, so even people that are technically on your side, you still don't like. Because they're white men. Watch out, Chris Evans. Your similar advocacy for black women is not going to save you from Brie Larson's wrath. But there was one thing almost everyone agreed on. The cat stole the show. This is the most liked comment on Douban. You know that feeling when you left the theater at 2:30 a.m. after watching Captain Marvel and you bumped into an orange cat in the corridor? That's the most liked comment? I mean, it's not even clever. I'm assuming a lot of people ran into orange cats outside in the corridor? Because otherwise, what was it? Just, I do know that feeling. Let me like this comment real quick. That was very relatable. So that's the article. Other than the photoshopped part that I had a gripe with, I think it was a great article. Good job, Karen Chu. Thank you for bringing that to us from Abacus News. In other news, Kevin Feige and Marvel came out and assured us that Captain Marvel would not be the focal point for Avengers Endgame. Thank God, because that would be terrible writing. Could you imagine reading a book and just following characters like for so long? Let's say it's like a 30 chapter book, and then at the second half of the 30th chapter, they introduce a character that solves everybody's problems. That's what I was hoping wouldn't happen, and it looks like it's not going to. So let's take a look at a couple of articles that discuss this topic. We're not going to look at the full articles. We're going to go back and forth between Marvel just told us Avengers Endgame isn't about Captain Marvel saving the day by Chris Smith at BGR.com, and Avengers Endgame, Kevin Feige confirms major plot point about original 6 Avengers by Cameron Bonomolo at comicbook.com. So like I said, we're going to go back and forth. We're going to take snippets from each article and talk about it. So Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige confirms Avengers Endgame will return focus to the original 6 members of Earth's mightiest heroes when Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor, Hulk, and Hawkeye reassemble in an attempt to reverse Thanos' devastating actions that obliterated half of all life in the universe. People would point out that Cap wasn't in Infinity War a whole lot, Feige told Empire magazine, and Iron Man didn't really speak for that last half hour because of what was going on. But those characters and all of the original 6 are very much the focus of Endgame in a very personal and emotional way. As seen in its trailers, kept as unrevealing as possible, the Avengers loss to Thanos is particularly unacceptable for Steve Rogers, who admits the surviving heroes are incapable of moving on. Cap's been our guy since we started at Marvel, added co-screenwriter Christopher Marcus, who penned the Captain America trilogy and these 2-part Avengers films, with writing partner Stephen McFeely. He's the barometer for the team. You go look for Captain America, and if he's still fighting, you keep fighting. But if he's sitting on his butt in the dirt saying, "Oh God," that really means you lost. Endgame is expected to be the last hurrah for the original 6 Avengers first assembled in 2012's Joss Whedon-directed blockbuster, as it marks the expiration of the star's original contracts. We are in a different territory, possibly than anyone's ever been in before in terms of a movie series, Marcus said. The MCU continues to exist. Who happens to be in it is fluid and evolving things where, because it's all connected, you can't reboot one. All the parts have to work together. Things continue, but like life, losses are real, and change is real. After Infinity War, Marcus told us that the deaths were real, and that the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll be able to move on to the next stage of grief. At the time, he hinted that Avengers 4 doesn't do what you think it does. He's now saying almost the same thing, that losses are real. So yes, we expect permanent hero deaths from Endgame, but it's unclear whether Marcus's new losses are real comment refers to what happens in Endgame or Infinity War. Myself, Downey, Hemsworth, we all kind of started roughly at the same time, and I think we all through Avengers 4 kind of wrap it up. Evans said of Endgame, already an addendum to his original contract during an April 2018 appearance on Good Morning America. So at this point, I don't know what's next, but yeah, by 2019, that's it. So Feige coming out and saying that the focus is going to be on the original 6 Avengers is basically just easing everybody's concerns, right? I don't care if you hate Captain Marvel, love Captain Marvel, are indifferent about Captain Marvel. We need to universally agree that Captain Marvel coming in to finish this thing would be the worst example of writing in any medium ever. I think we should all be able to agree on that at least. It goes back to that example I gave earlier. Imagine reading a book and then at the very last chapter, somebody new comes in and basically solves everybody's problems. So all you dumbasses that were like, oh, Thanos better be shaking in his boots, Captain Marvel's coming, you can fuck straight off with that shit. We've all been saying all along that the original Avengers deserve to finish this story, and I'm glad that they finally came out and said that yes, the original Avengers are going to finish this story. Not just because the storyline deserves it, but because the actors deserve it. The ones that have been carrying the MCU on their backs for the past decade deserve a good end to the work that they've done. Now they're probably all gonna die, but they deserve to be the reason the universe was saved. They deserve to have that memory of them for the fans. And then all that talk about change is basically hinting and alluding to Captain Marvel is going to be essential at least, but probably the face of the MCU moving forward, unless Kevin Feige and all those guys just see something differently as we get there. A lot of people are saying this is going to be the end of the MCU for them, that they no longer have any interest in the MCU moving forward after that because of the whole Captain Marvel thing. I wouldn't go that far personally. I mean, I'm still interested in Doctor Strange, I'm still interested in Spider-Man and stuff like that, unless they full on SJW agenda those things too. Just everything that they come out with has an agenda, and then it'll probably turn me away. But to me and my older brother, Marvel was our childhood, collecting the comics, collecting the trading cards. Way before any of the movies were even a thought, Marvel was our thing. And I know all of the comics lately have gone full on agenda and just complete garbage, but a small side of me hopes that they can look at how badly they destroyed their comics business and choose to not do the same to their movie business. I know they're all about agendas now, and it's just infuriating as hell because good stories, great stories could be created around the ideas of ethics, morality, philosophy. Just leave the goddamn politics out of it and let everybody enjoy them. And I know it's difficult to do that nowadays with the SJWs always banging on your door with demands, but is caving to their demands really worth dividing your fan base? That's all I got for this one. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button and share it with your friends, family, whoever you think would be interested in nonsense like this. And subscribe, ring that notification bell, click that always so you can always be alerted every time I put out another one of these beef chow mains. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.